Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the regular council for meeting number 10 for 2021. Today's date is August 3rd, and the meeting is being held at 5:30. As per normal, this meeting is also being live streamed, and the link can be found on our town website and also be on our YouTube page later on. So before we get into the agenda, attendees at the meeting today from council are Deputy Mayor Curtis Buckle, Councillor Kim Ganny, Councillor Roger Mayette, and Councillor Sadie King. From staff, we have Steve Martin, Krista Turnbull, Gary Corbett, and Marjorie Gibbons. I think that's everybody there that I see in my participant list. So thank you all for joining. I know it's a nice evening for sure. So let's get into the agenda. So item one, it's a call to order and the adoption of the agenda. Could I have a mover on that, please?
Moved by the Deputy Mayor.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor. Seconder.
Councillor King.
Second by Councillor King. Any discussion? Okay, no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Sounds like motion is carried. Okay, item two, adoption of the minutes from the last two meetings. So let's adopt the minutes from the regular council meeting from July 13th, 2021. Is there any errors or omissions in that in those set of minutes? Okay, so we'll adopt those as presented, and the adoption of the minutes for the special meeting of council on July 27th, 2021. That's the special meeting we had last week in relation to the vote by mail regulations and procedure. Any errors or omissions in that set of meeting minutes? Okay, if not, we'll adopt those as tabled as well. Anybody got any business arising from the minutes? Item number 3. Okay, if no business arising, we'll get to number 4, which is the mayor's update. So I've got just a fairly short update here tonight. Did want to continue to bring awareness to 2021's municipal election. So as we've stated before, the election for 2021 will be held on September 28th. Nominations for the position of mayor and council will take place from August 24th to August 31st, excluding the weekends. And the nomination times will be 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Holyrood Municipal Building. And this year, glad to let you know, as some of you may know if you've been following along, we will have a vote by mail option. So right now, our procedures that we motioned last week are with government for approval. Once all those procedures are approved, we'll then post them on our website for everybody to view. So that's the first point. Next point I want to touch on briefly is the water ban that we've been through over the past number of weeks. So I am happy to let you know, as of yesterday, August 2nd, the water ban has ended. And over the past week or so, our system has been operating at a normal capacity. With that being said, as normal, this is not a knock on of the water ban that was implemented. We are still following a water conservation plan. This water conservation plan is a plan that we put in place probably around May or June, and we're supposed to be following that every single year. And it just helps take the load off our system for specific peak demands during the summertime. So we ask all residents if they can use their, I guess, best judgment when using water for watering lawns and filling up swimming pools and whatnot. And I'd encourage everybody to make yourself familiar with this process and help us conserve as much water as we can. It's good for the environment in general. During the course of the water ban, we did do an extensive leak detection program in the entire town. There was, to the best of my knowledge, there was only one small leak detected. And that was on a residential curb stop that wasn't fully opened. And when the curb stop is not fully opened, there is a bleed valve on the bottom of the curb stop, which allows the pressure to escape. So it was a leak, but it wasn't. So that was a source of some of the loss, but was definitely not the source. It was definitely not a major leak that caused the water ban to go in effect. So as I said before, we do want everyone to work together and keep our water system functioning as efficient and effectively as possible. So that's it. That's it from a mayor's update for this evening. Any questions or comments on the 2 points I've presented? Okay, if nothing, let's move to planning and development. Councillor Gani.
Thank you, Mayor Costello. First, we have our permit listing. Be it resolved to table and approve the attached permit listing. 16 permits were issued from June 5th to July 29th, 2021, and include permits for patio, site, general repairs, sheds, new residential, and fences. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Gani. Could I have a seconder on this motion, please?
Deputy Mayor.
Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Discussion. Okay, if no discussion, all those in favor? Aye.
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 And against? Motion is carried. Next item.
Okay, next item. We have 2 residential permits, 36 Country Path Road and 39 Conception Bay Highway. Zoning is RMD and the proposal is residential. Be it resolved that the town of Holyrood approve the above residential applications in principle and subject to the town of Holyrood development regulations. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Gani. Could I have a seconder?
Councillor Myatt.
Seconded by Councillor Myatt. Discussion.
There was nothing of concern in either of these residential applications. They meet our development regulations fully.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we reviewed those at the last committee meeting, so it's definitely good to see some residential construction continuing in our town. As we all know, the price, what's happened to the price of goods, specifically building materials, over the past year or so. So positive to see that for sure. Any other comments? Okay, no other comments. All those in favor? Aye.
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 And against? Motion's carried.
Okay, next item is proposal for a home-based business for childcare at 49 Conception Bay Highway in the RMD zone. Be it resolved that the town of Holyrood approve the above application in principle, subject to the town of Holyrood development regulations. This application was advertised in accordance with regulations 10 and 90 of the development regulations, and a discretionary use ad was sent to the Shoreline News with no comments received on the application by the deadline date of July 29th, 2021. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Gani. Could I have a seconder?
Deputy Mayor.
Councillor King.
Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Discussion. Okay. If no discussion on this one, it's good we've advertised this one. No comments were received back. So that's good. Some more childcare spots in our town is always a good thing. So let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
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 And against? Motion's carried. Thank you, Councillor Gani, for the planning and development update. And we'll move right into your recreation and community event update, please.
Thank you. So as everybody is aware, Squidfest 2021 has concluded. It was very well attended overall. And some of our newer events were standouts and will be reviewed by the committee for enhancement and possible inclusion in our future festivals. An example of that was the geocaching event, which was, I think there were 17 people who participated in that event, and which was more than we were expecting. So it's something to consider for future events, and it gets people outside and exploring. The recreation community events team had to be creative in our events in adhering to public health guidelines, such as the cohorting of attendees at the gig on the green. And that went very well. And the festival was a very welcome and refreshing set of activities after a stressful year or so, now that restrictions on gatherings have loosened up. So, we'll next year, hopefully, we'll be able to put on a full set of events for Squid Fest. But this year, given the restrictions, I think it went quite well. And of course, it couldn't have been the success that it was without our dedicated group of volunteers who always give it their all and participate and just make it a very upbeat event for our town and our residents and visitors to our community. So a huge thank you to our volunteers, and we're happy to have them back with us this year and helping out with these events that couldn't go on without them. Also, want to extend a thank you to our staff, led by Steve Martin, in developing these events and putting them off. And of course, the public works staff who prepares the grounds and gets everything up and running and in good shape for us every year to participate and to put off these really great events for our residents and tourists as well. The recreation team is now working on the fall programming and events, and we can all look forward now to the return of the Holyrood Harvest Hoedown, which is scheduled tentatively for October 22nd to the 24th, tentatively. And Steve and team are working on some events around that, potentially including Halloween events along with the Harvest Hoedown. So lots to look forward to for this fall from an event perspective. And on a more serious note, I would like to encourage residents and visitors who encounter any dangerous incidents or activities in our community, wherever it may be, along the trail bed, what have you, to the local RCMP detachment. My family and I were walking on the trail bed over the weekend and encountered a large group of users of dirt bikes who were driving at a high speed and quite dangerously. Some of them were on the road, on the north side of the road, and some of them were on the trail bed where we were walking. And it was quite a scary event, really, for myself, my family, my child, my dog. And they were driving at very, very high speed. They didn't even slow down, and they were just driving very recklessly. So I think it's really important that people, when they witness events like this, that it is reported to the RCMP. I know some people think that nothing will be done, but if it's not reported to the RCMP, then they don't know what kind of problem we're encountering. And I do know that others experienced, I believe, the same group this weekend by the description of the drivers of the dirt bikes. So if you do see something, it's really important to report it to the RCMP so they can take note and recognize the seriousness of the problem. They can only act and make increased patrols if our incidents are being reported. The trailway really, really should be a safe and pleasurable area to enjoy by everybody. Most users of ATVs are very respectful of pedestrians, and of course, pedestrians would be at most risk of injury or harm should an incident occur. So we do implore everybody to be safe when operating all-terrain vehicles or off-road vehicles on our trail bed and around our community, and to be respectful of pedestrians and other users. With rocks being blown up and dirt being blown around, of course, the noise pollution associated with dirt bikes, we really would like for people to be cautious and careful and respectful of all users of the trail system. We don't want to see a tragedy happen to any user, be it an ATV user or a pedestrian in our community. We want people to be safe, and we really need people to report dangerous activities to the RCMP if you witness something, because again, if they don't understand the extent of the problem, we probably won't see much change in patrols. So please report any incidents that you see to the RCMP. That's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Ganny, and I definitely echo your comments there, Councillor, on reporting incidents anywhere in the town to the RCMP. It's a fairly simple process. You call the number after hours, you'll probably get directed to the call center, give your info, and most times you will receive a call back from an officer who's on duty. And if they're able to, they will respond to the location as quick as possible. That's been my experience for sure. but the conversations I have had with some of the RCMP um, officers is that they said the exact same thing you said. If it's not reported and we don't know it's happening, then we really can't do much about it. And they need the numbers to know where to increase their patrols or where to decrease their patrols. And once they're armed with that information, then I think they can help us make our town as safe as possible. So again, like Councillor Ganny said, encourage everyone to report incidents to the RCMP. Don't look at yourself as being that person and causing trouble and whatnot. You by you reporting that incident, you could help save someone's life. So that's the way everyone should look at it. Any other comments? Okay. If no other comments, thanks for that, Councillor Ganny. Did you have anything else, or you're all done?
Nope, that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, let's move along to what are we to now? Number 7, Infrastructure and Public Works. Councillor Mayette, your update, please.
Yeah, so we have a few items here. Just want to let people know that the country path water main upgrades are now completed. So that's good. The next thing we have is the soccer field upgrades. As everyone knows that has driven by, it's a huge difference from what it was. So right now, the contract is moving through the project with 50% of the sods placed on the field. So it's getting sodded now, which is great. Next item is engineering has started on the emergency water chlorination system and pressure reducing valves for the water network. It's scheduled to be complete during the fall of 2021. Next item, engineering has started on the sewer system upgrades, new pumps for the waste treatment plant and lift stations, also scheduled to be completed this fall. Next item is pump testing of well 7 at Centennial Softball Field has been completed. This process will provide the town with information on the wells with respect to their capacities and life expectancies, critical information required for future and water system planning. This work will continue with potential pump tests as well 5 and 6 to be scheduled in the future. Next item, 2021 ditching contract has started in Healy's Cove by the contractor, and other roads included are Brines Road, Green Acres, Northside Road, Carroll's Road, McGraw's Road, Godson's Road, Boland's Pond, discharge at Route 60, and Beaverbrook Place. Culvert replacements. So 2021 town culvert replacement has commenced this week. Roads to have culverts replaced are Northside Road, Bitches Crescent, and Duff's Road. Also, Kenny's Lane culvert replacement is scheduled for paving on August 9th, 2021. Maloney's Lane Northside Road culvert replacement is scheduled for the middle of August, of course, this month. Next, the Department of Transportation Infrastructure commenced today ditching on Route 60 from the community center to the post office, with a culvert being replaced at the intersection of Route 60 on Godson's Road. Next, 2 more items. The trailway update from the manager of the Park Operations Park Division. Granite Management has received a permit for site remediation on Terry's Mountain. A site meeting will take place with representatives from the T Railway, the town, and Granite Management before any work takes place. So as far as I know now, there's a stop work order on that, and we'll have to sit down with Granite Management and discuss further. Next is the paving tenders. So 2021 paving tenders will be received and be reviewed by Infrastructure and Public Works Committee at their next meeting. And one more, crosscuts on the North Side Road as a result of the Marine Institute infrastructure connection, and Golden Eagle Way and O'Rourke's Road are scheduled for paving on August 9th. So we get a lot of culverts, a lot of paving crosscuts and everything. So that's great. Okay, so that's it for the update. Next is the North Arm water study. So as part of trying to find an emergency water source for our town, we contracted SNC Lavalin to investigate, test, and provide us with a water study. The 2 rivers near Walls Road on Sumner Line both feed into North Arm River. The river by Walls Road is separate from the other river that connects to Big Triangle Pond. So the river right beside Walls Road is actually being fed from Daniels River which up from that is Island Pond, and across the Trans-Canada is Lewis Pond. The other river is being fed by Big Triangle Pond. Just want to show that. So what we're aiming for is we're going to aim for possibly using the Daniels River right beside Walls Road as an emergency water source. Like I said, it comes from Lewis Pond and Island Pond. So SNC Lavalin did a late spring test this year near Summer Line. It showed the water seemed to be good. They need to treat for color and need approximately a number of 15. So that's how they do their test. So the number we got from Daniels River is actually a 20, which is acceptable and unusual for a river to be that good. Sometimes the number is a lot higher. So that water is really good water, which is nice to see. The Department of Environment will dictate how much water can be drawn, if it can be a backup source, etc. So they'll have the final say in everything. The town's approved for $908,000. So we need to have our application in by August 13th. So the water study as a whole from SNC Lavalin will be completed within the coming weeks, and will provide us with recommendations on how we can move forward. And that's it for the water study update. Does anybody have any questions?
Just a few more notes there, Councillor Myatt, on the water study. So in our meeting with SNC last week, I think everyone was a little concerned with the amount of water that flows through that river. But SNC did do some low flow analysis, and they found that the river basically flows between 10 liters a second and 70 liters a second, depending on the time of the year and the environmental conditions. Basically, I didn't really know how to take that data and correlate it to anything real. So what SNC were also able to give us is they were able to give us the rough daily usage for the town of Holyrood. And the rough daily usage for the town of Holyrood is an average of about 13.8 liters per second. So the flow analysis gave us between 10 and 70, and our usage is 13.8, so call it 14 or 15. So based on that analysis and our daily usage, that water source should be more than acceptable to give us the demand we need. But like you said, Councillor, there are some questions that still have to be answered from the Department of Environment to determine how much water they would potentially allow us to draw out of that river. So it is promising. It's a completely separate river from Big Triangle Pond. There were some concerns about the Eagle Ridge development in that area and using the water from North Arm River, but based on the information SNC has provided us, any potential development in that area wouldn't impact this section of the river. So very positive overall. Still a good bit of work to be done. It has to be registered environmentally, and then a barrage of questions may come from that. But right now, initial indications are the study is good, and that's going to push us to spend our multi-year capital works funding to extend the water line further in Salmon Line from where we left off last year in across the first bridge. So it'll get us to that potential water supply, hopefully, and it also does another thing. It helps us get that critical water infrastructure further in Salmon Line to service those residents in there. They've been some residents have been advocating for as long as I've been here to get water services in there, and this is another push to get that part of town serviced. So that's all I had. Just wanted to add a little more color around some of that. Any more comments on that update on the water study?
Just one comment for me. Providing water to residents on Salmon Line has been something that we've been talking about for some time. So I'm really pleased that these latest studies are supportive of some more movement in that area, so that those residents can avail of good water in that region of our town as well.
Yeah, definitely. We've this since this current council has been sitting, we've extended the water line now from the ball field, and once this project is done, it'll be from the ball field in over the first bridge. So getting over the bridge is a big hurdle in itself, And we've also started the process of extending the bigger water line in through Country Path. So, we're advancing towards the Salmon Line area from both directions. So, hopefully we'll get there sooner rather than later. Any other comments? Okay, no other comments. Councillor Myatt, we'll get you to move to item C there, please.
Yep. So as we just talked about extending the water line, so let's make it happen. Be it resolved, the town of Holyrood submit an application to the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs on the multi-year capital works program to extend the water line along Salmon Line from the existing service at 117 to the south end of the bridge over one segment of North Arm River. Got a mover.
Moved by Councillor Myatt. Could I have a seconder?
Deputy Mayor.
Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Discussion. Okay, I think a lot of discussion probably happened in the previous update point there. Anyway, it doesn't matter where it happens as long as the discussion happens. So if there's no comments, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And those against? Motion is carried. Item D, sir.
Okay. Sewer and pump upgrades. Be it resolved, the town of Holyrood accept Innovative Engineering and Project Management as a prime consultant for the project 17-MYCW-21-00144 sewer and pump upgrades for total engineering cost of $20,987.49, HST included. The Department of Transportation Infrastructure completed the engagement process associated with the engineering component of the project and recommended Innovative as a preferred proponent.
Do you want to move that?
Yep, move it.
Okay, moved by Councillor Myatt. Can I have a seconder?
Councillor Gani.
Seconded by Councillor Gani. Discussion.
Just Deputy Mayor, if I could just add, this once again is showing that, we're trying to look at water in the last motion and sewer in this motion to make our infrastructure better within the town. So we're have to start somewhere, and this is where we're starting out with these couple of motions, which I think we're headed in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, definitely quite a bit of infrastructure in the town, and you don't realize it until you actually get in the details of the number of pumps and lift stations and wells and all that stuff that we have. You really get an appreciation for how much it costs to maintain and purchase new equipment for all these assets. So definitely agree with you there for sure, Deputy Mayor. Any other comments? Okay. If no other comments, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Okay. Motion is carried. So thank you, Councillor Myatt, for that. Did you have anything else you wanted to speak to from Public Works before we move on to business development?
Nope. No, that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Next, Deputy Mayor, Business Development and Marketing. Can we have your update, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I just got a couple of points here this evening. First of all, local business. Council has seen a steady interest from small business concepts coming to the town. We continue to work with proponents to get their ideas and concepts to the stage where an actual application can be brought forward for consideration. We encourage those interested in establishing a business to reach out to us as we will assist them where possible. We also, there's a doctor who is interested in relocating to the town, has reached out to the council looking for information. The doctor is considering Holyrood as a potential new practice, and we are providing as much guidance as we can as he considers his options. And also, there's another doctor, and also we would look to have another doctor would be an asset to the town too. As we know, there's a lot of people that doesn't have a family doctor, and it's been talked about in the past. So this is nice to be able to see one doctor looking to relocate to Holyrood for a family practice, and we are also always looking for another doctor. It'd be nice to see two doctors here. But we do have this one doctor that has reached out and asking some questions, and we've been working very closely with the doctor to give him some information. So we're really hoping that that do come to life, and that doctor do consider and move to a practice here within our town. Also, we are delighted with the process at the soccer field as we continue to work with our colleagues in recreation to make this a great field for soccer and other recreation activities. There's a lot of work after been done on that site over the summer, as Councillor Moyette mentioned in infrastructure and public works. There's a lot of work done there. 50% of the grass sod now has been laid. So that's going to add a lot to recreation within our town, something that was long overdue, and to see how much work has been done on that site and how that is going to look up there is a great asset to our town. Also, the Trail Master Plan, which was a big hit for people that filled out the surveys and added their little bit of background and knowledge to the Trail Master Plan. We will see that next week. Council will get the review, and once Council receives that next week and reviews it, then the plan will be shared with the public. That's something that is going to add a lot to recreation within our town. The Trail Master Plan, something that this council has worked very hard on to get it where it's to now, and hopefully we will see that work very well within our town with a new Trail Master Plan in the next little while. And the last point I got there, the wayfinding project started on July the 26th, with a meeting being between Track Consulting and the team, any working team at CBS. That's the one we partnered with CBS on the wayfinding project. And this project will provide Holyrood and the other partners with a sign strategy to incur tourism in the region. So that's one that we mentioned before in our public council meeting. We partner with CBS, and they are leading that project, but it's going to add a lot to Holyrood for tourism within our town also. And that's it for me for my points, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Thanks for the update there. Any questions or comments on the Deputy Mayor's update for business development and marketing?
I have a couple of comments. From a recreation perspective, of course, we're delighted that the soccer field is coming together. It's really, it looks like a piece of art, really. It's a state-of-the-art work that's being done up there, and it's really going to enhance the recreational opportunities for next year once it's completed. I know it's may have been a frustrating process for some, but when you approach it using grants and so on for the ability to roll something like this out, timelines are a bit finicky sometimes, but it looks like a beautiful piece of work, and we're really pleased that that's coming along so nicely finally. And from the trail master plan is another piece of work that has been done jointly between committees and so on, and it's really wonderful to see that coming together, and so we can do some work on some trails in the community for the benefit of everyone. And also the addition of another doctor, of course, is always welcome. We'll be very fortunate to have an additional doctor or two in the community. I know we've had some growth in that area over the last couple of years, which has benefited our residents and surrounding areas. So that's a wonderful piece of news. And just thanks to Deputy Mayor Buckle and the business development and marketing team for moving those items along.
Thank you, Councillor Garney. Just one question for you, Councillor. Do you know if that if the walk-in clinic still exists in Holyrood? That one that Eastern Health added? Was it the Proactive walk-in clinic or something?
I don't think that was added by Eastern Health. That was the physiotherapy business. It was in the Eastern Health building.
Okay, maybe
I'm not sure if it's still there.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. If nothing else, let's move to item B, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a motion there. Motion for Crown Land acquisition. Be resolved that the town of Holyrood submit an application to Crown Lands to acquire 20 acres of Crown land located at the former Black Ridge Quarry site on Horizon Drive, and the location adjacent to the Blue Ocean Industrial Park. This property is being acquired for economic purposes. I so move that motion.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor. Could I have a seconder?
Counselor King,
Seconded by Councillor King. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll weigh in there, move the motion there. The motion allows council to acquire additional land for the purpose of growing business and economic activity within the town. This is very beginning of the process involving Crown Lands approval. It does not involve the actual purchase of the land. The matter would be addressed in a further motion if the town decides to buy the property. The town wants to ensure it provides the opportunity to grow the business community and to allow growth to occur, providing jobs and increased service. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir, for putting some extra details around that. Any other comments? So just so we're clear, and I'm clear, Deputy Mayor, this is just an application. This is, I think the application has a cost of like $172. This is not the town buying the land at the moment. This is not the town putting out RFPs at the moment. This is just merely the town starting the process, which is going to take some time to work its way through Crown Land before any purchase price or anything like that is determined. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, so if there's no further comments, move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
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 And those against? Motion is carried. Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any other points to add before you're done?
No, that's it for me, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Councillor King, Corporate Services.
Today we have a bank book balance of $62,788.08. Bills to be paid. Be it resolved, those accounts as tabled in the amount of $254,462.96. Check number DO1923 to DO2013 and a 042238 to a 042329 be approved for payment from the general account. So moved.
Moved by Councillor King. Could I have a seconder?
Deputy Mayor.
Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Discussion. Okay, so everyone has received the list of accounts. Hope you've all had time to review it. So all those in favor of this motion? Aye.
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 And those against? Motion's carried. Item C, Councillor King.
That applies to our audit, which we received a short time ago. Be it resolved that the town of Holyrood approve the 2020 audit as presented. So moved.
Moved by Councillor King. Could I have a seconder?
Deputy
Councillor
Mayor.
Wyatt.
Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Discussion. Okay. If no one wants to add anything there, move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And those against? Motion's carried. Item D, Councillor.
Be it resolved to approve the 2020 annual expenditure audit as presented. So moved.
Moved by Councillor King. Could I have a seconder?
Councillor Ganny.
Seconded by Councillor Ganny. Discussion. Okay, just we did meet with the town's auditor last week. I think it was. Time is going fast here. I think it was last week. Very extensive review they provided us, council, with the audit findings from 2020. Overall, the overall summary from the accountant was the town is in a very healthy financial position at the moment. They were also, from towns of similar size that they audit, they think the town does an awful good job with the amount of money we have, and they say we hit way above our belt with the amount of government funding we get. So kudos there to everyone involved in that. So just wanted to put that in there as well. So if no other comments, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And those against? Motion is carried. Last one there, Councillor King.
Last one is just a change order. Be it resolved that the town of Holyrood approve change order 01 for project 17 CCR-20 00007 for the soccer field upgrade. This change order addresses the increase in the number of days requiring an inspector on site. The original number of days identified in the scope of work was 20 days. However, the number of days in the contract is 50 days. With the increased 30 days, the engineering component has increased by $28,893.87. This change order accepts the increased inspection time within the contract at the increased cost. So moved.
Moved by Councillor King. Can I have a seconder?
Deputy Mayor.
Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Discussion. Okay. If no discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
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 And those against? Motion is carried. Okay. Councillor King, was there anything else you wanted to discuss from corporate services before we moved on to new business?
No, not this evening.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor King. Okay, let's move on to new business. Let's do the go around. So who's on my list here? Let's start with the Deputy Mayor. You're top on the list there, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of quick points. As already been mentioned, I'd like to say a big thank you to our town staff, public works staff, Steve, and everyone else that helped out with the Squid Fest, and also to our volunteers to be in a pandemic, and that the Squid Fest was a little different again this year than it usually is in previous years, and hopefully next year we'll be back to a normal. I'd like to say a big thank you. These events wouldn't happen without our staff and our volunteers who make these events work. And another point there, my last point is it's, here we are in Holyrood, and to see so much activity down around our boardwalk and our beaches in Holyrood in the last couple of weeks there due to the capelin rolling and the squid rolling. I'd just like to remind people to be careful in that area, because it is around Route 60, a high traffic area, and there was a lot of traffic there. And while people are parking, they could park in a safe place so that nobody gets hurt in that area, and use the crosswalk that's there to get back and forth the roadway, especially the main Route 60. It'll be, everyone will be safe, and it's really nice to see nature at its finest. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, it's amazing how much some squid, capelin, and whales can really bring a town to life. We were up there, went up last night for a look, and the traffic was lined up from past Northside Road all the way over, past the post office, and all the parking lots were full. And you look on the beach, and there had to be 500 people on the beach, had to be. And it's amazing. Like I said, just a few simple squid rolling in the beach. People come from everywhere, so it's good to see for sure. But like you said, we do need to make sure we are accessing nature safely. And there were a lot of people, a lot of excited kids. We did notice jumping out of their cars and trying to get across to catch some squid. So use extra caution when you're driving through there over the next few weeks. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. So thank you for that, sir. Next, Councillor Gani.
Thank you, Mayor Costello. I'd echo Deputy Mayor Buckle's comments in asking people to be vigilant and safe when they're accessing the beaches and so on. It is very busy down there. And as you've said, very excited children. My nieces are home from Alberta, and they had the opportunity for the first time to pick up a squid and take a look at it and get squirted with ink and so on. So it was it's quite the experience for people who are not familiar with it for sure. So for everybody just to be very vigilant on the roadways and so on. And other than that, I have nothing else to comment on. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gani. Next, Councillor Mayette.
Just want to say thank you to Steve and team for putting off a successful Squid Fest. Of course, we all know that last year was pretty well shut down, except for a few things we could have done. But this year, we try to get as close as we could to the regular lineup that we have, and I think Steve and his team pulled off a great job. Also want to thank all the volunteers as well, because of course, without the volunteers, a lot of the stuff wouldn't happen. So a big thank you to the volunteers, and fingers crossed that we get back to normal next year, or as normal as we can be, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councillor King.
Well, I too would like to say thank you to Steve and Ollie's team. It was a fabulous weekend. Things may not be normal, but it was close to as new normal as you're going to get, I think. The only thing about it, the seniors couldn't dance. That was a big disappointment. And I think the weekend, with all the traffic on the road, I think we saw the benefit of the roundabout this weekend. Even though there was a lot of traffic, I didn't see a lot of hold-ups with traffic, like everything seemed to move smoothly. So I think, that's where we really saw the benefit of the roundabout this weekend. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Councillor King. So I guess that's over to me for a few points. One point I did want to touch on is Councillor Mayette spoke about it in his update, the remediation work that's to be done on Terry's Mountain. Obviously, the town, it's not a clear-cut process. There's a lot of involvement with various levels of government because it's in the trailway right-of-way. But you know what? Myself specifically and other councillors have been pushing for is this remediation work to be done correctly. We just can't wing this. This is a potential safety. It is a safety hazard, in my opinion, and we need to do it right. And remediation needs to be accompanied by the appropriate documentation as well. So that'll be some things for us to focus on over the next few weeks for sure. Also, some very positive infrastructure updates this evening as well. Almost $1 million we're hopefully going to spend to extend the water line further in Salmon Line. Getting that supply of clean, safe drinking water to a number of homes in there, and also giving us access to either a better emergency supply or potentially a long-term supply to form either the sole source of water for the town, or for it to form some hybrid version to augment some of our artesian wells. So hopefully that continues in the right direction. And again, it's a very significant infrastructure spend for sure. Again, Squid Fest, like all others have said tonight, Squid Fest was great. I think we were probably the first festival, I think, on the Northeast Avalon anyway to get underway. I may be wrong in saying that, but I don't think I am. Nevertheless, it was great, and I think the people I spoke to it was very well received, just to get back to some sort of normal life, and that's what it's all about. So hats off to the team, the volunteers, and even some of the organizations like the fire department and search and rescue, who also put in quite a bit of work behind the scenes. So the last point I wanted to touch on is, a lot of people have asked over the past little while about, my intention specifically in the next election. At the present moment in time, I've made the decision to not offer myself for the position of mayor for the upcoming election. And it's for a very simple reason. The position of mayor requires a significant amount of time to do the job correctly. And with my current work life and very busy family life, I'm not convinced that I can continue to offer the amount of time that this position needs. So just wanted to put that out there. I would encourage anybody else, any other current counselors or anybody else in the community who would consider, putting their head in the ring to, by all means, it's a very worthwhile experience. Learned a lot, seen a lot, and it was a great opportunity, and I thank everybody for allowing me to fill this position over the past number of months. So, with that being said, that's all I have, I think. Yep, that's all I've got. So that's the end of new business. So the date of the next meeting is August 24th, 2021 at 5:30. So could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Ganny. Could I have a seconder?
Deputy Mayor.
Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And those against? Motion is carried. Thank you, everybody, for attending the meeting today. Get out and enjoy the rest of this lovely evening. There's still a few hours of sunshine left. Get out. Hopefully the squid will be up on the beach again tonight. It's if you haven't been up, it's definitely something to experience for sure. So again, everyone, thank you for your dedication and time this evening, and have a good week. Chat later.